Have you ever poured your entire life into your career, chasing promotions, bigger paychecks, and external validation, only to find a hollow echo where true fulfillment should be? What if the success you're truly longing for, the kind that endures and brings profound peace, isn't found in the relentless pursuit of more accolades, but in something far more profound, something within you? We live in a world that constantly tells us to strive outwardly, to climb professional ladders, to accumulate possessions, to prove our worth through what we achieve in the marketplace. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with ambition or hard work, the truth is, most of us work harder on our jobs than we ever do on ourselves. We invest countless hours developing external skills, perfecting presentations, navigating corporate politics, all while our inner landscape, the very foundation of our being, remains untended, unexamined, and often underdeveloped. This isn't just about career dissatisfaction. It's about a deeper spiritual misalignment. We can build magnificent external structures, impressive careers, large homes, robust portfolios. But if the ground beneath them is crumbling, if our internal foundation is weak, then every achievement becomes precarious. Every victory feels fleeting. The real, lasting progress, the kind that truly transforms your life and brings unwavering resilience, is built not by chasing the next external prize, but by consciously, diligently, and often uncomfortably, developing your mind, transforming your habits, and forging a character rooted in unwavering faith and self-respect. This is the unseen work that underpins every visible success. The fundamental truth we often overlook is that external rewards are merely a reflection of internal conditions. A strong mindset, disciplined habits, unwavering self-respect, and a well-developed character are not just desirable traits. They are the unshakable foundation for navigating life's inevitable challenges, achieving truly meaningful goals, and adapting gracefully to change. Think of it like tending an inner garden. You can buy the most beautiful flowers, the rarest plants. But if the soil is barren, if you don't consistently water, weed, and nourish it, those beautiful additions will wither and die. Similarly, we can acquire external opportunities, promotions, or financial gains. But if our inner garden is neglected, if our thoughts are chaotic, our habits undisciplined, or our self-worth tied to fleeting external opinions, then even the greatest blessings can feel like burdens, and minor setbacks can shatter our peace. This isn't about blaming circumstances. It's about shifting our focus from what we can get to who we can become. It's about understanding that God's grace empowers us not just to endure, but to transform from within, to cultivate a rich, fertile inner landscape where true strength and lasting joy can flourish. Are you ready to stop chasing shadows and start cultivating the substance within you? If so, consider sharing in the comments below one specific area of your inner life you feel called to tend to today. Your journey, shared openly, can inspire others to begin cultivating their own sacred ground. The path to self-mastery, this profound internal cultivation, isn't a miraculous event or a sudden download of luck or talent. It's a continuous, often uncomfortable and quiet daily process. It demands intentional choices, the courage to confront your own weaknesses, a commitment to learning new skills, even those outside your professional sphere, and the discipline to train your focus, not just on tasks, but on your own inner development. Consider the story of David, a man in his early 50s, who had spent decades meticulously building a successful engineering firm. He had all the trappings of success, the sprawling home, the luxury cars, the industry recognition. Yet, he felt a gnawing emptiness, a sense that he was constantly performing, never truly being. He realized he had become a master of external systems, but a slave to his own anxieties and the need for external validation. His turning point came not from a new business deal, but from a quiet moment of self-honesty during a prayer retreat. He began to see that his relentless external striving was a desperate attempt to fill an internal void, a void that only God and his own disciplined work on himself could truly fill. David's journey illustrates a critical obstacle, the profound discomfort of stepping out of our comfort zones and facing our flaws. Growth requires radical self-honesty, a willingness to look squarely at our patterns, our excuses, and the subtle ways we sabotage our own peace. It's far easier to blame external circumstances, to point fingers at the boss, the economy, or even God, than it is to admit where we've neglected our own spiritual and emotional well-being. But this very discomfort, this initial pain of confrontation, is the crucible for true transformation and genuine strength. It's what the Apostle Paul referred to when he spoke of taking every thought captive, 2 Corinthians 10:5. It's not about being perfect, but about being brutally honest with ourselves about what controls our thoughts and actions. Another common obstacle is waiting for external motivation or a crisis to force our hand. We often tell ourselves, "I'll start exercising when I have more time," or "I'll spend more time in prayer when things settle down." This is a subtle yet powerful deception. It's the belief that our growth is contingent on circumstances, rather than a deliberate act of will. But here's a surprising revelation. The truest, most enduring control doesn't come from manipulating your external world. It comes from mastering your internal one. This brings us to a profound spiritual turning point. Understanding that self-mastery is not merely a self-help concept, but a deeply spiritual discipline, an act of worship. It's about aligning your internal world with the divine order God intends for you. The Bible, far from promoting a passive faith, is replete with calls to discipline, diligence, and the transformation of our inner man. Consider the words in Hosea 10:12, "Sow righteousness for yourselves, reap the fruit of unfailing love. Break up your unplowed ground, for it is time to seek the Lord until he comes and showers righteousness on you." This isn't just a poetic phrase. It's a divine command to actively cultivate our inner lives, to break up the hardened ground of old habits and unexamined beliefs. It's about becoming fertile ground for God's grace to take root. This internal transformation, this breaking up of unplowed ground, is where true spiritual power resides. It's not about trying harder in your own strength, but about submitting your will, your habits, and your mind to God's transformative power, allowing him to prune and refine you from the inside out. This is where faith becomes tangible, where self-control becomes a fruit of the Spirit, and where your character becomes an unshakable fortress against life's storms. With this new perspective, the entire landscape of your life shifts. You begin to see challenges not as roadblocks but as opportunities for deeper internal work. You understand that true resilience isn't the absence of trouble, but the strength of character forged in the fires of adversity. Take the testimony of Sarah, a single mother in her late 30s, who worked tirelessly to provide for her 2 young children. For years, she felt like she was constantly reacting to crises, perpetually overwhelmed and exhausted. Her finances were tight, her relationships strained, and her spirit felt worn thin. But she made a conscious decision to prioritize her inner garden, dedicating just 30 minutes each morning to prayer, scripture reflection, and silent contemplation before her day began. She started small, focusing on one negative habit, endless scrolling on her phone, and replacing it with journaling. The transformation wasn't instantaneous, but over 2 years, her inner landscape blossomed. She found clarity, peace, and a quiet confidence she never knew she possessed. This internal shift rippled outward. She became more present with her children, more focused at work, and eventually found creative solutions to her financial struggles. Her story isn't about a sudden miracle. It's about the compounding power of consistent, quiet internal work empowered by faith. This internal work is not just for personal benefit. It expands to touch every relationship, every decision, every interaction, turning you into a beacon of stability and peace for those around you. So where do you begin this journey of cultivating your inner garden, of building your spiritual skyscraper on solid ground? It starts with practical, consistent steps. First, dedicate non-negotiable time each day, even if it's just 15 minutes, to quiet contemplation, prayer, and scripture. This isn't about checking off a box, it's about tending the soil of your soul. Second, identify one small, persistent habit that drains your energy or leads to unproductive thoughts, and commit to replacing it with a life-giving one. Perhaps it's mindful silence instead of constant noise, or a few minutes of gratitude instead of immediate worry. Third, embrace learning beyond your immediate needs. Read books that challenge your perspective, listen to podcasts that expand your understanding of faith and character, or take an online course on a topic completely unrelated to your job. This continuous learning trains your focus and keeps your mind agile. Fourth, practice radical self-honesty. Regularly ask yourself, what am I truly avoiding? Or, where am I making excuses? This renewed vision isn't about becoming perfect, but about becoming progressively more aligned with the person God designed you to be, resilient, purposeful, and profoundly at peace. It's an invitation to step into a life where your external achievements are simply a natural overflow of your internal strength, a life built on a foundation that cannot be shaken. The journey of self-mastery, of cultivating your inner world, is the ultimate adventure. It's a commitment to a life of profound purpose, resilience, and true fulfillment, built brick by spiritual brick. It's recognizing that the deepest, most enduring success isn't found in what you accumulate, but in who you become, a person rooted in faith, disciplined in spirit, and unshakable in character. This isn't a solitary path. It's a shared human experience, empowered by divine grace. As you continue to break up the unplowed ground within you, as you tend your inner garden with intention and faith, you will discover a wellspring of strength you never knew you possessed. You will find that life's storms, rather than shattering you, will only reveal the unshakable foundation you've built. Imagine a future where your peace isn't dependent on circumstances, where your joy is an internal constant, and where your impact on the world stems from a place of genuine, unshakable strength. This is not a dream. It is the promise of a life lived in alignment with God's design for your inner world. If this message resonated with you, if you feel a stirring to begin or deepen this journey, I invite you to join our growing community. Let's continue to explore how faith empowers true internal transformation. Consider sharing this video with someone who might need to hear this message today. And if you have questions or specific topics you'd like us to delve into in future discussions, please share them. Your insights are invaluable as we journey together towards deeper purpose and lasting peace.